you want to invite to your next slumber party? Jason, Freddy, Michael, or just maybe the Driller Killer?
Sleep shirts with a flair for horror. Rock it out with Freddy, chill out with Jason, and pig out with Michael. 90 nightmares, add some spinner to your next slumber party.
Announcing Nighty Nightmares sleep shirts, exclusively available at deaditesondeck.com.
They're all messed up.
Howdy, gang, and welcome to the rescheduled. They're all messed up. Here in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about Brian De Palma's sisters and So Sweet, So Dead, aka The Slasher is a Sex Maniac. And yes, that is the other title for So Sweet, So Dead. But I want to get some housekeeping stuff and some announcements out of the way first, and then we will get to the movies. First of all, tomorrow, if all continues to go well, at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Friday Foolish returns with me and Candace, and we will be talking about all things Ozzy Osbourne. And we're going to be talking about the life and career of musician Ozzy Osbourne. And some people might be saying, whoa, Dana, didn't you already do a tribute to Ozzy not very long ago where you talked about his life and career and all that? Yes, I did. And I had a watch along for Trick or Treat of a movie that Ozzy Osbourne was on. That he had a small part in as Reverend Gilstrom. And that was great. I had a good time. I hope the those of you that were there and those of you that watched on the replay enjoyed it as well. However, Candace is going to share some stories about Ozzy, including she got a chance to see Ozzy live several years ago. And I would love for her to share her story of actually getting to see Ozzy perform. We're going to be sharing other reminiscence and memories of Ozzy. So I hope you guys and gals will join us for that. Again, that's starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow evening. We do have a watch along coming up for An American Werewolf in London. It was all werewolf movies on the poll this time. And you guys and gals voted in An American Werewolf in London. There is a new poll up of rock horror movies. I don't have Trick or Treat on there because I just did a watch along for that, along with the Ozzy tribute. However, there are 3 other rock horror movies: Rocktober Blood, Black Roses, and Hard Rock Zombies. I believe Black Roses was in the lead the last time I checked. So make sure you get your votes in for that, folks. Now, this will be Saturday, August 30th, because Saturday, August 23rd, when I would normally be doing a watch along, me and Steve will be up in Indiana at the Skyline Drive-In, where Mark Price is going to be appearing, who played Eddie Weinbauer in Trick or Treat. They're also going to be screening Trick or Treat at the drive-in. And I think Mark Price is going to be meeting fans. Hopefully he's going to be meeting fans so I can get him to sign my Trick or Treat 4K box set. I don't know. I haven't heard, but I thought in light of Ozzy Osbourne's passing, they may have a special tribute to him up at the Skyline. But like I said, I'm not 100% sure on that. I've not received any kind of confirmation on that. Also, for those of you that have been seeing the little promo for the Nighty Nightmares sleep shirts, I do have those for sale. They are not yet up on the Deadites on Deck horror shop just yet. However, you can go ahead and put your order in, and I will be glad to make one for you. Now, they come in one color, that's pink, with heather gray sleeves. And we have all the designs that you saw in the promo. One with Michael Myers, one with Jason, one with Freddy, one with the Driller Killer from Slumber Party Massacre. And also, I have another one available that really doesn't fit the Nighty Nightmares thing, but it is available. And that is the Ozzy Osbourne graphic that you can also have put on a sleep shirt. And yes, those girls are supposed to be of age, folks. Don't want any, weirdness and anything associated with Ozzy right now. So I didn't want y'all to get the idea that I was putting anything weird on shirts or sleep shirts in this case. But you can get this design where Ozzy's holding a pillow that says Ozzy came to my slumber party, surrounded by some smiling ladies there who seem to be very happy that Ozzy attended their slumber party. So in order to get one of these, all you got to do is send $30 plus $6 shipping. And that doesn't matter if you get 1 sleep shirt or 5 sleep shirts or 10 sleep shirts. It's still a flat rate of $6 shipping. And you can send that to the email address, which is my PayPal email address in the chat, evil.dead.chick1976@gmail.com. There are also Spooky Dog and Sebastian meet shirts where they meet Ozzy Osbourne. There's also a design where they meet Robert Englund. in case you wanted to pick one of those up. Those are $20 a piece plus $6 shipping. You can get those in any color you choose. I can now do dark colors, no problem. So if you want it on black, I can put it on black. If you want it on dark blue or dark or a red or a dark green or whatever. Or of course, you can always get light colors as well. You can get it on white if you want. But for the sleep shirts, you just need to make sure that you send your name, your mailing address, and the size of the sleep shirt that you need. For the t-shirts, if you'll send $20 plus $6 shipping, and again, that doesn't matter if you get one t-shirt or 5 t-shirts or 10 t-shirts, it's still $6 shipping. But for those, you need to send not only the color, but also the size that you will need. And again, please send your name and your mailing address so I know where to ship it to. Okay. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get to these movies. And I do apologize that this one was a little bit later. And of course, I was running late on top of that. It was supposed to start at 9 o'clock and ended up starting a few minutes after. But the first movie we want to talk about is Brian De Palma's Sisters. Probably, a lot of you horror fans have already seen Sisters. Stars Margot Kidder as twins, conjoined twins, who were separated when they were quite young. And so we have the two sisters, and Danielle is the model and actress, very beautiful, very alluring to men, and very sweet. Then there's Dominique, her sister, who is not all there, right? And proceeds to kill any men that try to come between her and her sister Danielle. That's a basic story. Very tight, well-made little slasher from Brian De Palma. Pretty much De Palma's early career was made by not copying Hitchcock per se, excuse me, but following Hitchcock's very suspenseful style. Okay. This came out in 1972, and surprise, surprise, there are only 2 kills in this movie. And I was like, wow, I had forgotten that there weren't a lot of kills. So not only are there not, because there are not a lot of kills, Brian De Palma pretty much had to create this tightly woven, suspenseful film and have these 2 kills intertwined there. And he does that absolutely perfect. Okay. So let's talk about the kills here. So we have a man brutally stabbed to death with a butcher knife, and his only sin, sleeping with Danielle and trying to bring her a birthday cake on her and Dominique's birthday. We also have another man who's stabbed to death with a scalpel, and that's it as far as deaths. I'm not saying they're not bloody and brutal and all that stuff, but kudos has to go to Brian De Palma for creating one of the most tense shockers of the early 1970s. And if you have not seen Sisters, I urge you to seek this one out and watch it. For free version, first, please, because even though I am, giving accolades to this movie all over the place, there may still be some people that, Dana's off her gourd. She don't know what she's talking about this movie, Sisters, and I found it totally boring. That's why I always say, folks, just as beauty is in the eye of the beholder, a great slasher film or horror film or suspense film is in the eye of the beholder as well, right? So I could, sing 1,000 praises of any film, and somebody else may come along and say, that just wasn't for me, which is, perfectly fine. But again, that's why I say always try to find a for free version, especially of these films that you have not seen before. Okay. But to give a rating for this, I'm going to give it my highest rating using the Deadites rating scale of 5 Deadites out of 5. Way to go, De Palma. Okay, so the next one, I don't have an actual physical copy, but I do have a movie poster for it. And I will bring that up here. And this is So Sweet, So Dead, aka The Slasher is a Sex Maniac. And again, yes, that is the alternate title for So Sweet, So Dead. Now, not the best Giallo type film, in my opinion. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best of the lot either. So we did have a total of 8 deaths in this, so it was pretty packed with deaths. So we have, let's see, and the killer basically kills all these women the same way. So you're not going to get much variety there, folks, and that may be a drawback for people. So we have 6 women in the film that have their throat slashed and then they are stabbed to death. We also have a man that falls down the stairs and a man is shot. So again, a total of 8 deaths. So in this Giallo film, we have a mass killer who is killing unfaithful wives in this film. So, I mean, that's basic plot, as cut and dried as you can get it. And, I don't think I need to go on and on about the plot. The plot, that's it. That is it. You've got a mass killer in a black trench coat and a hat going around slashing unfaithful wives in this. This also does star Farley Granger as the detective who's trying to solve these murders and keep his job as well. Not much else to tell about the plot. But I'm going to give this one 4 Deadites out of 5, just shy of the 5 Deadites out of 5 mark. And that's because this isn't, in my opinion, this isn't the best Giallo out there. You can watch this on Tubi under the title, The Slasher is a Sex Maniac. I don't really know why they say the slasher is a sex maniac, because I don't feel like this is, I mean, maybe you could call it a psychosexual slasher or a psychosexual Giallo. But I just don't feel like the killer is actually a sex maniac. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just totally wrong there. So I know that was quick, but like I say about a lot of these kind of review related shows, I try to make them not very long, because, somebody doesn't really want to go on, hear you go on and on about it. They want you to get to the goods. This film is available on Tubi. If you want to check it out, it's a pretty decent copy of it. Not fantastic, because it is an older film, and this version's probably not been remastered or anything like that, but it's not bad. So I wanted to remind you of the 2 movies that I will be covering next week, which are also films from 1972. The first one is Terror at the Red Wolf Inn, directed by Bud Townsend. And the second film is 3 on a Meat Hook, directed by William Girdler. Both of these films did come out in 1972 as well. We've got a lot of films fitting into this 1972 year. And I believe the Three on a Meat Hook, at least parts of it, were supposedly filmed in Louisville, Kentucky, where I live. And this is a film that I've tried several times to watch. And hopefully this time I will make it through. Now, I don't think it's because it's boring necessarily. I think it's just because I tried to watch it at the wrong times. We'll be talking about all of those next Thursday. And I guess that is it for me for tonight, other than to remind you that if you want to support me in the channel, there are several ways that you can support me that don't cost you a dime. If you're able to give money like super chats and joining the channel and joining my Patreon and stuff like that, those things are perfectly fine. However, you know, there are a ton of ways or several ways that you can support me that don't cost you money. One of those is by subscribing to the channel. If you're enjoying my content, the stuff that I'm putting out, and you have not yet subscribed, what's holding you back? I'm not going to come try to minister to you. I'm not going to come to you and try to sell you cookies and candy bars. Nobody has to know that you subscribe to my channel except you and me if you tell me. But chances are I'm never going to know if you subscribe, right? And you can stay on there for as long as you want, including forever if you want, because nobody will be the wiser, right? Unless you tell them. Also, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that I'm putting out. Hit that like button on things that you especially enjoy. Also, share with friends and family members that you think might enjoy the content I'm putting out. And if they're enjoying it, encourage them to subscribe, hit the notification bell, all those things that you did as well. And those cost you nothing, and they cost the person that you told about it nothing as well. And all of these things also help me get up into the algorithms of YouTube. And also, my next milestone is to try to reach 1,000 subscribers. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, that's small potatoes, Daya. Who cares if you ever get to 1,000 subscribers? That's not a big deal. For me, it is, because I feel like I built my channel from the ground up. You know, there were people that came on the streams and stuff like that, especially early on, that probably pulled in some people. And for that, I am thankful. But I still feel like I built this from the ground up. And I am about maybe 32 shy of that 1,000 subscriber mark. So if you guys and gals can, if you have it in your heart to help me get to 1,000 subscribers, me and Candace, probably on an upcoming episode of Friday Foolish, will be doing some really cool cosplay. I will be Cheryl from The Evil Dead, and Candace will be Mrs. Roper from Three's Company. And that is all from me for tonight, folks. Thank you guys for joining me. For those of you that sat here and watched me ramble on about these movies. I also wanted to thank those of you that will watch me on the replay. And as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off up here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Thursday night, folks. It's Friday tomorrow. I hope y'all have a fantastic weekend, and I hope many of you are able to join me for An American Werewolf in London watch-along, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. And I'll see everybody next time.